I'm a delivery driver that finds trash on my route to flip for money, but this ain't that. These are a set of filing cabinets that I bought at an auction. However, they did not come with a key, and I don't want the expense of re-keying everything. We're just going to make them into a normal set of nightstands. Generally, I like it when it's easy peasy and you can slide the drawer right out, but these slides had this tricky little button knobby thingy. Yes, that's the technical term, but they came out pretty quick in the end. As people don't normally like to buy furniture with big holes in it, we're going to cover this one up. First things first, we're going to block the back, which would be the inside of the drawer, using some blue painter's tape. Then line up the drawers where the wood filler can lay flat to dry. I like using Bondo for bigger holes because it dries really hard and it's very durable. Always make sure to work in a well-ventilated area when using Bondo because it is toxic and it stinks. It's one of those scents that gets stuck up in your nose and you can't get it out. I always like to use tools that I can throw away once I've finished using Bondo. For instance, a pizza box and a popsicle stick. Another tip for working with Bondo is work in small batches. It's going to dry really fast, so if you make a large batch of it, you won't be able to get through all of it before it starts to harden, which it will do as soon as you mix the hardener in. Get it? Because it's a hardener? I'll see myself out. I'm going to fill up the entire hole, which, keep in mind, is blocked in the back by the blue painter's tape. Keep in mind, the neater you are, the less sanding you'll have to do later. Ah, my favorite part after using Bondo, tossing the tools. My least favorite part about using Bondo. And finally, the fun part. Quick interjection, they have been sanded smooth and cleaned. Now I will be using Paint Couture's Angel Eyes, because it's pretty. After the first coat, I can still see where the locks were on this drawer. So after my eyes rolled back around, I grabbed Dixie Belle's mud in white. This mud's a great wood filler, but it dries softer than Bondo, so I can come and hand sand very smoothly instead of having to use my sander with it. This will allow me to be a little bit more gentle and a little bit more precise. And doesn't everyone wear 2 sets of glasses on their head? I'm going with a high grit sandpaper here because I don't want to get too busy too fast. This sanding pad started out as a 220, but it's well used, so it's probably more like a 320 at this point. And don't you worry if you skipped arm day, because this workout will pump you up. Check out this little cutie. We're going to be looking for him later. I'm going for easy peasy here with Rustoleum's metallic finish, and it delivered with a rich finish and a fast drying application. I was one and done. It went on so well, I'm actually thinking about doing the brush guard on my truck. Totally kidding. Mostly. Now, most people would just leave this at its beautiful neutral color with nothing on it, but I'm not normal. So I grabbed the polished concrete stencil from WoodUBend with my Gilding Wax and a stencil brush. And in the words of Happy Gilmore, just gave a little tappy tap, a little tap-a-roo. And I dug it just enough to do this 3 more times. Real quick, boring instructional part. If this were paint, I would have to let it dry, but because Gilding Wax dries so quickly, I'm able to reline up this stencil to finish the rest of the drawer immediately. Okay, boring instructional part over. Now that we have added what looks like diamonds, we're gonna go ahead and seal this bad boy up. Always stir and never shake your clear coat, because how long does it take to get the bubbles out? Forever, forever. Full confession, I am a heavy-handed painter, so it's difficult for me to paint anything without leaving brushstrokes, so I have learned little tips and tricks along the way. One of those is to roll it on. This will give you a butter-like finish. Now for the final step, locating all of the hardware that you have so painstakingly spray painted and then kept up with. Right? Apparently not. Come with me while I look for missing hardware. Remember this little booger? At least we found it. So take 2 of spray painting hardware. Just gonna put this really carefully down here on this cardboard box. One of them. We're gonna be super careful with it this time. And then here we are with the finished product. I really like the way these came out. I wasn't sure at first, I'll be honest. Check out that butter-like finish. Oh, and one last thing I almost forgot. Once I sanded back the mud, you can't see the circles anymore. I really like the way this turned out. And I'll be honest, I wasn't sure in the beginning, but I'm really digging the blue and silver together. If you liked this video, or maybe if you learned a thing or two, look at that buttery finish. And definitely if you got a giggle. Would you share this video? Maybe somebody else could get a giggle too. Play hard and peace out, my friends.